Hey guys, Anime Elitist here, bringing you a spoiler-free review of All Out. First, I have to disclose that I haven't seen the whole anime, mainly because it isn't even out yet at the time of this review. I have watched 13 out of the total of 25 episodes that will be released, and feel like I have seen enough to be able to tell you, dear viewer, whether All Out is worth watching. And if it turns out that something worth mentioning pops up later in the show, or it turns out to be different than my review, I'll put an update in the description as the show rolls out. Now, as I was writing this review, I was pretty conflicted. On one hand, I really just want to bash on this show for not being good, but I realized pretty early on that I'm not the target audience, so bashing on it might not be fair. Based on what I've seen, this show is made with middle schoolers in mind, so unless you like shows that are more childish, light, and silly, move on. All Out wasn't made for older or more critical viewers, so bashing on it for not living up to my standards wouldn't be very beneficial for anybody. As a show made for a younger audience, it's not bad at all. It has plenty of positive messages relating to sports and good sportsmanship that are good for kids of that age. In that regards, it passes with flying colors. To give some examples of the messages it has, it warns kids that they will have to deal with toxic opponents as well as teammates. It tells kids that even if they're small, with determination, they can succeed. That you shouldn't be arrogant, or that even the best players were probably as bad as the noobs when they were starting out. Another positive is how All Out looks at the psychology aspect of sports. How morale fluctuates throughout a game as points are scored on both sides. That part was particularly interesting, even enough to appeal to older viewers like myself. Speaking of older viewers, All Out also has a couple of messages for the parents who might be watching the show along with their kids, that basically remind the parents that for the kids to grow up, they need the support and guidance of an adult, especially when pursuing something like a sport due to the amount of time and effort it takes on the part of the child. So the TLDR is, the show is pretty good for kids and young teens, but it doesn't offer much for older viewers. The story, characters, and animation is lackluster at best. Let me explain. The characters are simplistic archetypes. They act like people in their 40s would think kids act, and I found them pretty annoying overall. The story is just a simple sports anime type story, nothing special. It's not very gripping, nor does it manage to get you that pumped in comparison to other sports anime. Unless this type of anime is your cup of tea, don't bother watching it. I guess that there is one reason I could think of to watch All Out. If you're a chick or a gay guy, you might get some enjoyment from looking at the young muscular kids roughing each other up. But that's about the only reason I could come up with. Even if you like rugby, I wouldn't recommend watching it since it doesn't have much in the way of realism or strategy beyond the most very basic stuff. The show, unsurprisingly, is safe for all ages, with just a bit of blood from sports injuries, like for example nosebleeds, and that'll only really bug the hemophobes among you. And here is the narrative format. I'm not going to put a grip score on this one, since I didn't like it and only really watched after the first 5 minutes for the sake of writing this review. Oh, the stuff I do for you guys. Now, if I were for a second to just forget about the fact that this show is made for kids and treat it like any other show and give it a rating, I'd probably have to give this one a pretty low 3 out of 10. It's just simplistic, uninteresting, neither in the story nor the characters. But for younger kids, I'd give it a higher score, maybe a 6 or a 7 or a 5. I don't really know. This isn't really the type of anime I watch, and I'm not in that age range, so I can't really judge it properly. Well, that was my review of All Out. If you enjoyed it, give that like button a gentle caress, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe for more, and see you next time. I'm out.